the Sony PlayStation 5. An insanely hard to get console with ridiculous scalper pricing. So is it worth all that trouble dealing with scalpers or waiting so long to get your hands on one? To answer that, let's first unbox the PS5. And guys, since I am doing this a little late and I'm sure you watched a truckload of unboxings till now, I'm also going to be showing you every single accessory that Sony is offering with the PS5. So there's a little something extra in this video than just an unboxing. This is going to be interesting. So hey, Ash here from C4 Tech, and stay on, watch on till the end of the video, and then thumbs up, subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that bell icon. Let's now get to the unboxing. So this here is the PlayStation 5 box. It is huge, even compared to the Series X. The white and blue theme is what Sony's gone for here. Usually white's more of a Microsoft thing, while Sony's largely remained black. This time around though, Sony's gone with a brighter palette. Anyway, let's open up the box, lift the lid, everything one by one, a little bit of point of view shooting for you guys. I'm very excited for this one. And moment of truth, yes, that needed 3 cameras. It did. It's that important. That's how much of a big deal it is. Getting it was really hard, guys. A lot of work's gone into me getting my hands on this one. Now, if you do want to pick one up, 28 Mobile has it in stock. You're going to have to pay a little extra, but hey, that is the only way to get a PS5 today. iPhones with physical dual SIMs and a lot of other hard to find stuff is available in 28 Mobile. I'll leave a direct link to them in the description below, so do check them out if you haven't yet. Now returning back to the box, let's get to the PS5 in a second. This other box has some regular documentation, the quick start guide and safety information booklet. That's followed by, well, this is the base. I really like how, unlike previous generations, we don't need to buy a vertical stand separately, and this is actually included in the box. I mean, Sony had to include it because you can't really place the PS5 horizontally without it. And even with the base horizontal placement, it isn't the best look for the PS5. But hey, if you want to do it, now you can. Of course, you can use this base to leave the PS5 standing vertically, but you don't actually need the base for it. The PS5 can remain upright by itself, but the base does make for better ventilation. And guys, when I look at this, when it's upright, it kind of reminds me of the Raiders from the Battlestar Galactica. If anyone's seen that show, if anyone feels, hey, that's the look, let me know in the comments below if it's just me. Anyway, this is very important here, ventilation, because the consoles this generation, like for example the PS5, it's running very silent. The sound levels on last-gen consoles, I mean, there's no comparison here. Now the base is followed by a super speed HDMI cable, the power cable, USB Type-C to charge the accessories. Well, accessory as in singular, at least in the box. The biggie, the Sony DualSense controller. Now this is overrated. I mean, triggers that provide resistance, that's as gimmicky as it gets. I am never ever gonna use it. Or that is what I thought when I saw the presentation. And then when I couldn't get my hands on the PS5 and I actually chose Xbox, I was just even more sour grapes about it. But hey, the moment I started using it, it really is something. The triggers can add resistance and get stiffer when the scenario demands it. And this should add another cue to what's happening in game. Astro's Playhouse basically acts as a demo for DualSense, and I was quickly impressed and surprised by what Sony's done here. My only point of concern is that with consoles, when there's technology that's specific to one console, multi-platform developers, they don't integrate it into their games. Like for example, with the PS3, Sony's first-party games, they were often 30-40 gigs, for example, the Uncharted's. But with most multi-platform games, they were restricted to 8.5 gigs. Why? Because Sony had Blu-ray, while Microsoft had just gone with DVD. And to maintain compatibility, to make sure people didn't have to switch between multiple discs, which is what they had to do if it was over 8.5 gigs, for example, Mass Effect 2, we had to swap in between the campaign, and that wasn't a very nice solution. So the base there, the requirement was 8.5 gigs, at least for multi-platform games. That is what they were going with. Again, Sony's 6-axis was never made use of, similar to what happened with Microsoft Kinect the next generation. I mean, this one's actually very interesting. Last gen, to get a leg up on Microsoft, Sony reportedly pulled out the cameras from the box, managing to undercut Microsoft, who had gone all in on motion controls with Kinect in every single Xbox One. But the lack of motion controls on one platform meant it did not get enough third-party developer support. Now, another example would be the Wii U's second screen. Well, no one except Nintendo really developed games for the Wii U, but even when some third-party developer actually came on board, the second screen was rarely supported. It was just directly ported from the other consoles. Now, I can keep going on and on, but I'm sure you get the point here. I'm afraid the same thing might happen with these triggers, but if Sony does manage to get a large enough market share, which seems really unlikely given that the Microsoft consoles are readily available while Sony is not even launched in some prime markets. And even in the primary markets where it's launched, it's sold out everywhere. But hey, the success of this DualSense, only time will tell. Now, what's readily available with Sony are the PS5's accessories, well, at least most of them. So I picked up another controller. Do note that the Ps4 controller will not work with PS5 games. I mean, it will work with the PS5 for you to play PS4 games on it. There's pretty good backwards compatibility, but with newer PS5 titles, you cannot use your DualShock 4. The PS4 titles can also be installed to external drives. So if you're already using an external drive with your PS4, just bring it on over and all your games will run from it on the PS5. Like I said, most of them are backwards compatible except for a handful of games. The PS5 software, though, it is buggy at the moment. In my time, I've actually liked Microsoft's interface a lot more. The quick resume functionality, the ease of doing things. By that I mean, now, just to set up external drives on the PS5, I had to tinker around for over an hour. There was just some glitch or the other, and this is a widely reported thing. With Microsoft, it was as simple as plug and play. Simple AF. And Microsoft also happens to have the most powerful console this generation, and that claims based on the fact that the Series X can output 12 teraflops compared to the PS5's 10.8. But there is a but. Here's the thing. As of now, surprisingly, the PS5 seems to be outperforming its Xbox counterpart. Now, while the interface might be buggy, the actual gameplay, the performance coming out of the console, Sony is doing better at the moment. And I say at the moment since console wars aren't decided overnight, it takes years to see which one does better. Like, go back a couple of generations, the PS3 was graphically more powerful than the Xbox 360. Now think about this for a minute. At launch, the advantages that Sony had, beefier hardware, support for 7 controllers compared to 4 on the 360, and couch multiplayer was pretty important at that point. The controllers themselves, they came with a built-in lithium-ion battery, while Microsoft till date goes for AA, at least on their non-elite controllers. The PS3 even had HDMI output compared to the proprietary crap on the first batch of 360s. There was built-in Wi-Fi, a Blu-ray player, no external power brick, and it was an actual finished product. Every single variant also had some kind of internal storage, so a little bit of installation could happen with every single variant of the PlayStation 3, which was not the case with the Xbox 360s. And in fact, it wasn't even a finished product. The first 2 boards Microsoft used on the 360, I think the internal names were Zephyr and Falcon, if I can recall correctly. Everything had that RROD issues. Now just Google RROD, Xbox 360, and you'll see a truckload of issues. RROD is red rings of death, and these consoles basically became unusable within a couple of years. It was a big enough issue that Microsoft extended warranties for free on all the initial 360s. It was only with the third board, I think that was called Jasper. It was only with this one that the issues were fixed. Now, despite all this, Microsoft did manage to outsell Sony for quite a few years by quite a margin. So like I said, console wars, they take time. With next gen, we seem to have gotten off to a solid start. Now, I'm done with the history lessons, I promise. Let's get back to the topic. Sony's accessories. There's this charging station. I like how it comes with a proper power adapter and not USB. This lets you place it away from the PS5 if your situation calls for it, like here. By the way, there are some third-party docks coming out already, but they don't use Sony's proprietary pins to charge. So they basically need you to add this Type-C converter and use their own pins to charge. That makes them bulky, and hey, Sony's own docks are priced quite reasonably. So I think if you're gonna buy a charging dock, you gotta go Sony. The next accessory here is the Pulse 3D wireless headset. Wireless does not mean Bluetooth, because just like with the PS4, the PS5 does not support Bluetooth audio. So that means you got to use this wireless dongle. So what is 3D audio? Well, Sony again has proprietary stuff. This is an audio engine called Tempest, which is supposed to deliver very immersive object-based 3D sounds. That's the technical explanation for it. It is supposed to expand your spatial awareness while gaming. Sony's official headphone for this Tempest audio is the Pulse 3D. Additionally, if you are into multiplayer gaming, this should help manage the levels between game audio and chat. That is an added positive. And there are two microphones here to help with voice chat. Now, if you are into streaming, then this dual camera comes into play. Why dual camera? Well, that's because Sony does offer background cutout features here, so that helps with calculating the depth. And if you're more about media, the PS5 has support for some apps: Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney+, YouTube, Twitch, Spotify, Plex, Apple TV Plus. And to control these, you can get Sony's media remote. This one takes AA batteries, and well, it is a media remote, there's not much for me to say. So now with these accessories done, here's a look at the PS5 and its input outputs. Here's why I really like the fact that the charger dock, it doesn't use up a USB, because the front USB 2.0, it's taken up by the Pulse 3D headset, because like I said, there is no Bluetooth audio output. The rear USB, one of those is taken by the camera if you get the camera. The front Type-C is taken up by external storage, which you use to plug in, leaving us with just one USB port, which I would probably leave for a Type-C cable, you know, if I want to add something, if I want to, let's say, transfer some of the clips that I shot, I'd probably use a flash drive or just to charge the Pulse 3D. Now the PS5, it's available in two flavors. The Blu-ray disc version, 50,000 rupees, digital only 40,000 rupees. Here, I would highly suggest that if and when it actually becomes available for sale, you go for the Blu-ray version. Disc versions of the games can usually be had much cheaper, especially a few years into the console's life cycle, and they can also be sold off once you're done playing, which makes your effective cost of playing a game lower. Now, one of Sony's biggest talking points with the PS5 has been their super fast storage, and this is also a con. 9 Gbps reads, that's the theoretical cap, and that's nothing to scoff at. The fastest, 4th gen PCIe SSDs, the NVMe's, their cap's just 7000 Mbps or 7 gigs per second. So this super fast read-write speeds, it results in impressive load times. Yes, it's a huge improvement from the hard disks on the PS4, but the version we get, 825 gigs is what they advertise, 667 gigs is what we actually get. That's 2/3 of what you would get with a Series X. Now, Sony does have an M.2 slot, so it's not all doom and gloom here, but that M.2 slot for expansion, it's been disabled as of now. I'm guessing in the future, once there are faster NVMe's M.2 drives out there, Sony would probably release a compatibility list and then let us actually use it. So maybe 2 terabytes of storage in that later on, that would be great. But as of now, storage is limited. Yes, all PS4 games can go onto external storage, but again, that's another reason why you should probably get the Blu-ray version. Anyways, now the games themselves, this is where I feel Sony has a huge edge over Microsoft. Microsoft has been moving away from a hardware focus to a software focus, more of an aim on being a service. The hundreds of games as part of Xbox Game Pass is testament to that. And there is logic in what Microsoft is doing. The PS7 or just maybe the PS6 might actually end up being an app on your phone or TV. Game streaming is already a thing, and it's not going to be too far into the future for us to just stream it all onto other devices. The same way Blu-ray players and DVD players kind of went out of fashion, and now we have Netflix and Amazon Prime. That could just be the future for games. But that's then. This is now Microsoft's service focus means they lack exclusives. And what exclusives they have? They're Microsoft exclusives and not Xbox exclusives. So if not the Xbox, you can still play them on a PC. Sony's exclusives, on the other hand, they're pretty much PlayStation exclusives. Last generation, Sony had quite a few amazing ones. Uncharted 4, The Last of Us 2, God of War, Spider-Man, and the standalone spin-off for Uncharted. Just to name a few. And that trend continues here. So exclusives are a huge advantage for Sony. So anyways, would you guys want to see a graphical comparison between the Series X and the PS5, or the PS5 and the PS4 Pro? If yes, what games would you like for me to compare? Let me know in the comments, because I need to buy the games twice now. So hey, just let me know whatever you guys want me to compare. I'd probably do that. Okay, I guess this video has gone on a little longer than I actually wanted to. So let me know what you felt about this video with a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Subscribe, turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon if you haven't yet. And thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4 Tech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.